Hello, Mech Warriors. Welcome to Battletech. My name is DanielAKA, and thank you for joining me today. This game has been a long time coming, and I'm going to be honest, this is one of the most anticipated games for me that I've ever run across. To give you a little bit of backstory on my end, Battletech is pretty much in my blood. It was the first miniature board game that I really played. The first role-playing game that I played, pen and paper, was the Mech Warrior game. My first computer game was Battletech Crescent Hawk's Inception. The first novels that I read, that I purchased for myself, were Battletech novels by Michael Stackpole. One of the early card games I played was the Battletech card game. It just go on and on there. This game has been around for much of my life, and while I have not always been able to enjoy all aspects of it, it has been something on the back of my mind pretty much at all times. This game, something that I actually kickstarted pretty heavily when it came out on Kickstarter a few years ago. And I played a little bit of the beta to get my feet wet, and I decided to hold off on doing a lot of that since it was just sort of the same old. But now we have what I'm looking for. We have the campaign system in the game. It's a mercenary campaign, which with, I am to understand, at least 40 hours worth of content, or more, because supposedly it's open-ended. We'll figure that out here. There is 30 plus years here of content and story that has been developed for Battletech. I won't be able to explain all of it, but if I end up jabbering on about something, if you want clarification, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments, and I will answer with what I can. So, hopefully that we can get this released on a pretty regular schedule. Let's go and jump in the campaign and see what we get ourselves into. New campaign.
I am Kamea of House Urano, High Lady of the Oregon Reach, Protector of Coromadir, and the Sword of Restoration. But I am not a hero, no matter what the stories say. A hero would have sacrificed more, compromised less. A hero would have done better. You know this, of course. You were there. My father used to tell me stories about the ancient times, about the Star League, a golden age of prosperity, upheld by the great mech warriors of old, guardians of the innocent, protectors of the peace. I always dreamed of following in their footsteps. I was too young to see the truth of things. After all, it wasn't heroism or a noble cause that won me the throne. It was hiring a mercenary, skilled enough, perhaps ruthless enough, to carry the day. Hiring you. I still don't know if you fought for honor or for the thrill of it, for belief in my cause, or just in my money. But whether it was your noble heart or mercenary mind, your actions gave us hope. That makes you a hero in the eyes of history. Whether you believe it, that's up to you.
Who says that heroism and mercantilism don't have to go hand in hand? Welcome to the Ogurian Reach. The Ogurian Reach is a small kingdom on the rimward periphery, a region of space that lies in the outskirts of the more densely colonized inner sphere. It is home to the hey man, she just said it. I can't even pronounce it there. Oregon Coalition, a federation organized around a parliamentary monarch and ruled by the Urano family. For 3 generations under the rule of House Urano, the Regan coalition has remained relatively peaceful according to the periphery. This is where your story begins. So in the game, if you're not familiar, starting with Earth and expanding outward, you have the Inner Sphere, which there is a number of houses which control the vast majority of this and the majority of the prosperity. The Free World's Republic, Draconis Combine, etc. There, House Kurita, House Steiner, House Lio, House Davian. There is quite a few. And on the edges of this area, we have the periphery. It always seemed to me when I was in depth in this in the past that some of the periphery realms seemed more like the United States system of government than a lot of the ones you would see in the Inner Sphere, but you can argue that a number of the Inner Sphere realms were kind of similar in a lot of ways to the modern nations. Alright, so decades ago, my family came to the Reach from the Draconis Combine, the Free Worlds League, Federated Sons, Lorraine Commonwealth, Capellian Confederation. So these are the 5 primary powers in the Inner Sphere. Mech warriors who hail from the Combine tend to be fierce, disciplined, and relentless fighters no matter the odds they might face. Although Draconis Combine is as ethnically diverse as most of the interstellar empires, it's also one of the most culturally homogeneous. Over the centuries of rule, the founding House Kurita has succeeded in uniting the people of the Combine into a single culture, one heavily molded around the medieval Japanese society. That's really true. While some of most notably the descendants of the conquered principality of Rossahog have continued to chafe the uniformity of the Draconis society, overall this has created a more cohesive populace and military than seen in the other great houses. Mech warriors who hail from the Free Worlds League tend to be passionate, enduring fighters who value justice and equality above all else. The oldest and theoretically most democratic of the great successor states of the Inner Sphere, the Free Worlds League is actually a broad coalition of many minor and noble houses. Most of the League's history has been ruled under martial law by a Captain General who, by tradition, is from House Merrick. The culturally diverse and relative independence of the component regions are once the greatest strength of the Free Worlds League and the greatest weakness. This might be more like the U.S. in some ways, a coalition of states. Federated Sons, the Mech warriors who hail from the Federated Sons tend to be possessed for highly honed skills and other better equipment than other counterparts from other regions of space. They often see themselves as righteous warriors and champions of liberty, sometimes to a fault. Though nearly extinguished by the Draconis Combine in the First Succession War, the Federated Sons, a constitutional monarchy ruled by House Davian, has become arguably the most powerful of the 5 great successor states. The skillful military campaigns and subtle diplomacy, House Davian has significantly increased the numbers of star systems under its control in the last 200 years. Lorraine Commonwealth, Steiner. Mech warriors who hail from the Lorraine Commonwealth tend to be hardy, well-equipped, well-trained, and though they have earned a reputation for not being particularly strategic thinkers on the battlefield. Wealth is the greatest strength of the merchant princes of the Lorraine Commonwealth, ruled by House Steiner. Despite a number of humiliating defeats in their first 2 succession wars, the Lorraine Commonwealth has bounced back thanks to combined strength of its economy that begets the 5 successor states, and has controlled the Inner Sphere's largest functioning battle mech factories. With the Lorraine Commonwealth may lack in military prowess, it makes up for in raw numbers and industrial scale. So this is set in the year 3025 with the successor wars, which I don't know if this is I think this is immediately prior to Steiner marrying Davian and forming the Federated Commonwealth, and that causing a lot of problems. Battle mechs factories are pretty much, not everyone understands how they work, and they're kind of involatile. No one destroys them if they can, because there's not really much left of them. The Capellian Confederation, mech warriors who hail from the Capellian Confederation, are dedicated and steadfast combatants capable of holding the line and often surprising those opponents who would make the mistake of underestimating them. The Capellian Confederation has suffered most at the hands of those successor states over the last 2 centuries, having lost nearly half of the territory it once controlled at the height of the Star League's rule. Over time, the leadership of House Lao has transformed the Capellian Confederation into a socialist police state with a highly regulated economy. Most compellents take great pride in their citizenship, which must be earned through service to the state. I see. Can you hover over things? House Lyle. One vision. The Compelling Confederation is the small successor state, the last form created by Capella neighboring states in 2366. House Lyle gave the Confederation its Han Chinese character and ensured the survival of the realm through strong, if frequently erratic rule. Yeah, apparently some of the ancestors in that family have been nuts. Populated disparaged as a totalitarian player state, many compelling citizens enjoy a high degree of personal freedom and willingness to serve the state in return for generous services it provides. The Star League, 2570 to 2780, an interstellar council formed from the Terran hegemony. The five great houses of the inner sphere and the territorial states of the periphery. The stability and prosperity of the Star League lays the foundation of civilization, technology. Yes, basically the golden age of humanity. It ended when the leader of the RimWorld's Republic, Stefan Amaris, murdered the First Lord in a bid to usurp his position. The successor states are those five states there. There's the Compelling Confederation, if you want to read that. The Magistracy of Canopus, the Makors who hail from here can run the gamut of skill and fighting styles. They often favor clever and unorthodox tactics on the field. While smaller than the great successor states of the Inner Sphere, the Magistracy of Canopus is one of the major powers of the RimWorld periphery. The Magistracy? Magistracy is a matriarchal society led by a Magistrix. An elected position open to anyone, but large control by the house control due to the family's popularity. The Magistracy supports an open society that ensures the personal liberty of all citizens and the right to live their life as they see fit. Yep. The Tauran Concordat, Mechors here, are stubborn and aggressive. They can quick to anger, they're nevertheless skilled and perceptive. Founded as a constitutional monarchy and the leadership of House Calderon, the Tauran Concordat is the strongest military power of the RimWorld periphery. Also one of the oldest surviving realms of human civilization, having been formed long before the creation of the Star League. Yep. Tauran citizens enjoy extensive freedoms guaranteed by the Concordat Charter. Take pride in defending those freedoms through compulsory service. The Tauran Concordat has long had an antagonistic relationship with the Inner Sphere, especially the Federated Sons. House Calderon. The RimWorld periphery. No easy way to characterize Mechors hailing from the RimWorld periphery. They can be anything from petty thugs to ruthless tacticians to skilled and honorable warriors. The nations and minor houses of the RimWorld periphery have long played a role in shaping humanity. The Star League's downfall began in the periphery, eventually leading to the current tattered state of their disparate star systems on the edge of known space. The periphery is still the galaxy's frontier where the great houses play deadly politics. Petty bandit kingdoms thrive. Pirate bands play on minor noble houses. And then you have the deep periphery. Mechors from here are rare, but even rare is the Mechor who still admit to an origin. Beyond the outermost edge of the periphery lies the depths of space that remain uncharted and unknown to most of human civilization. Little is known about these regions, but they are far from uninhabited. The deep periphery is littered with abandoned colonies and small outposts isolated from this humanity. After the fall of the Star League, General Alexander Kerensky had led the remnants of the Star League Defense Force into the deep periphery, disappearing from the Inner Sphere and from recorded history. And of course, the Star League Defense Force eventually comes back as the clans. Okay, 100 million soldiers. That is kind of an interesting. You know what? Let's go with deep periphery as our family. You are of noble birth. Through immigrants through the Aurigan Reach, your family soon established a comfortable presence in a small backwater system on the edge of Aurigan space. By the time you were born, your family had become the de facto ruling nobility of the system's only inhabited planet. You were the oldest child, heir to the family's titles, and ancestral battle mech, an old blackjack BJ-1. This is where you met Raju Mastiff Montgomery, a veteran of the Succession Wars, for your parents hired on for a season to train you as a mech warrior. Roger was a skilled but capable teacher, and you quickly became a skilled pilot under his tutelage. It was an uneventful life. So we have a blackjack. Not my favorite one. Until the day after your 16th birthday when... Okay, if I was exiled, you started with once the promising young son of your family, you were committed an unforgivable transgression, was sentenced to life in exile. You stole the blackjack set-offs. Gunnery and tactics. Struck out on my own. As heir to the noble family, you grew up wanting nothing. It turns out you could stand a life of nobility. One night you stole away from the family's... Yep. Family went bankrupt. Tactics and guts. You grew older, you watched your family's fortune come The rest of your family died in a freak jump ship accident. Jump ships are the way you get around the space. There's that if you want to read that. After selling everything to settle the debt, piloting guts. Family was betrayed. Seed of its power destroyed. You defeated the Tefers, but you were the sole surviving member of the house. But nothing but the blackjack you left off to make a new life for herself. Do we have piloting and gunnery? Nope. Alright, Guts. Improves the maximum health of mech wars, reduces penalty from weapon recoil, and increases the threshold of heat triggers overheated. Okay. Gunnery is chance to hit with range attacks. Higher skills, better evasion. Piloting. Increases melee hit chance, sprint and distance. Improves the threshold of the ability that triggers unsteady. Okay. Blackjack equip has a pair of AC-2s backed up by 4 medium lasers. It's got a powerful alpha strike with jump jacks able to move around. It's not horrible. See your tactics. Increase the effectiveness of call shots. Piloting. Yep. So let's go with my family was betrayed. On your own, you fell into the life of a Regan Coalition soldier for more gunnery. Traveled Commodore. Central power of the Regan government. 2 habitable worlds. Billions of people. Frontier pirate. And I don't think I'd want to be a pirate. Solaris Gladiator. Solaris 7 is a gladiatorial combat world. An Inner Sphere Mercenary. For tactics. Frontier Freelancer. Roamed the RimWorld peripheries. Freelancer signing for whatever odd contracts you could. Merchant Guard. I'm gonna be, I come as an Inner Sphere Mercenary. 2 years later, you cross paths with Raju Mastiff Montgomery once again. Pure chance brought you back to the Regan Reach as your mercenary crew took an ill-fated contract against an enclave of pirates on the outskirts of Regan space. The job went south, and you were the only survivor of the unit. Raju's lance happened to be on patrol nearby. After rescuing you and helping you to honor your fallen comrades, he offered you a job in the House Arano Royal Guard. So it is that you find yourself reunited with your old mentor, preparing your ancestral blackjack for guard duty on the coronation day of Lady Camilla Arano. Alright. Let's see here. Call sign DAKA. Alexander Romanov. There we go. Sure. Pronoun is he. What do we want? Customize. Oh, interesting. Different tattoos. Butterflies. Interesting. And let's go back to tattoos. Let's go to no tattoo. Scarring. Sure. Like the hairstyle's fine. Facial hair's fine. Big beard. Nope. So we started at 9. What should we give him? Yep. And black, black. And I think that'll look fine. Decades ago, your family came to the Oregon Reach from the deep periphery. The day after your 16th birthday, your family was betrayed and murdered. Became an inner sphere mercenary, so tactics, guts, and gunnery. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and confirm. The High Lord, Tamate Arano II is dead. The Oregon Reach is left on uncertain crossroads. Once prosperous, now came in decline, surrounded by powerful neighbors. Lord Santiago Espinosa, brother-in-law to the late High Lord, is convinced that the slow-moving council of founding houses must be dissolved. His proposed directive would constrict their house guard and centralize power under a single throne. However, the High Lord's heir, the noble Lady Camilla Arano, is determined to rebuild the Reach without transforming it to an authoritarian state. She refuses to enact the council's directive and has rebuked his vehement pleas to reconsider. On the morning of Lady Arano's ascension to the throne, her loyal captain of the guard, Roger Massafungari, makes the preparations to escort her safely to the coronation process that awaits Cordia City. Coronation Day, Arano Summer Palace, 08:53 local time. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to leave this first episode here for this. We're going to pick it up immediately after here on the next episode. So I hope you all have enjoyed. As always, my name is Daniel. Thank you for watching. You have a good day.